Hey everyone, I'm Paul with MadCap Software. In this video, I am going to take you through Flair's project templates. So these are things that you select when you're first creating a project so that you are able to begin your new project with certain starter files and structure and a look and feel. Let me show you real quick what I'm talking about. So when you create a new project and you get into the wizard, you come to this page with factory templates. And there are all these templates in here, plus some additional ones if you click that link. Now, what I'm going to do is take you through all of these and explain what each one is and the benefits. And we're going to start with this one right here, the one that says empty. And then we're going to go back and work our way through all the rest. Okay, so the empty project template. This one is extremely simple, as you can tell by the name. Let's hop into Flair, let's check it out, and look at the output as well. So if you open up this project template, if you use it to create a new project in Flair, you're going to see in the Content Explorer, it's just got a few files, one topic, and just a few resource files in here. So it's not exactly empty, it's almost empty. And if you go to the project organizer, and I can click this to expand everything, you can see that there's actually several files in here, just starters in case you want to use certain features, but you don't have to use everything that's in there. Now, what about the output? Let's look and see what that's like. Yep, so this is it. This is the output, and it is extremely simple. You got the topic, the guts of the topic right in here, and then this is your skin around the edge of it. And this one happens to be using side navigation skins. So the links based on your TOC are over on the left, but we only have one in here. So there's really nowhere to go right now. Logo and search right there. So you can see it's super simple. You would want to use this project template if you just don't want all of the design, all of the extra files that you might get with one of the other project templates. You want to start out with the cleanest project possible. Empty project template is for you then. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. We're going to go, if you remember, from the top of that factory template page. We are going to start at the top in the online folder in there and start with eLearning. Now, in the Start Project Wizard in Flair, you get to that templates page, and you're going to see it's divided into different folders. Online is one folder, online and print, and then tutorials. And these just kind of organize it so that you can predict maybe what you intend on doing. Maybe you want to create both online and PDF output, and so you might go select one of those templates from the online and PDF folder, or you just want to do online, and so you go to the online folder and select one of those, but don't stress about it, which template that you choose, because any of these templates that you choose, you can add, remove, whatever you want. So if you choose one that's just online, you can always add print later. It doesn't matter. It's just trying to give you a quick start for what you feel is going to be your intent for producing output. Now, the very first project template in the online folder is called eLearning. So this obviously is for people who need to create online training courses, e-learning courses. And it's really, really cool, very simple to work through. Let's go into Flair, take a look at the files, then the output. All right, so in Flair, you can see in the Content Explorer, this has more folders and files, and so these topics are just organized into folders, but you don't have to do that. So we just split them up according to course content, just regular information someone might be working through in an online course, and then knowledge checks. So every once in a while during the course, they get hit with some questions and they got to answer them just to gauge their knowledge. And then there's also some test questions in here. Again, it's questions and answers, but these are at the end of the course. So it's gradable. So now they're going to get a score if they go through those. That's how it's set up in the in Flair. Now in the output, it looks initially like this. And so this is the start page. It's already different from the other one in that you don't have that navigation on in there, that extra navigation that is based on your TOC. Instead, we just have this page with the design in here, and the navigation is controlled. This is a simple hyperlink. And then when we get into the next page, you're going to see there's a toolbar that was inserted. And this is what we call skinless output. So it doesn't have that main skin, but it does have this cool design. And this particular project template, we just did based on the city of Austin, Texas. The idea is, all right, you're going to write an e-learning course about the city of Austin, Texas, and test people on it. And of course, you would go in here and replace this stuff with your own stuff. So you come down here, click Start Course, and now you get into the course, and you got the toolbar, this built-in toolbar, which is really cool. And in this course, what we did was, in this project template, we added different features in here, just so you get an idea of some of the things that you can add in Flare. Now, this is just text, but you get to this page and, all right, you got this 2-tile thing in here. And this is really cool because if the people are looking at it on a smaller screen, these tiles will stack one on top of the other. So it's designed really well for different devices. And you can just click Next, and now you're getting into a hotspot pop-up, just another feature that we added in here. And you click hotspot on the map, and you get different information, different topics that come up that people can read about. Just another feature you can use. Don't have to use any of these features. Just giving you an idea. Drop downs. You click to expand and collapse. Next one, slideshow. And this one is showing you just another way to present information. This neat slideshow in here. Again, something else that you can use. Next, now you can have a video. You can embed videos. You can link them from YouTube. And then iframes. You can put iframes in here so that it's an external website that people can scroll through right on your page. Next, now we're up to a test. This particular output, I didn't generate an output with the knowledge checks, but a different output would have these knowledge checks earlier in the test. But this is earlier in the course, but this is now the test, the end of the course test. And people just go through and answer the questions and see how we do. And you get to the final one, and this button changes from next to complete, and there you go, and there's your results. So that is what the e-learning course is all about. Once again, it can be configured just like any other project template. You don't have to stick with this look and feel, and of course, you're going to swap out the content with your own. Now, we're going to move down in the list on the project templates, and next we're going to talk about knowledge base. Up next is the knowledge base project template. And so people might want to use this if they, of course, need to create a knowledge base for their company, something that create somewhere where you can create and store articles about all kinds of information. We have one for MadCap software that's out there. And so it just will have articles about, these unique things, kind of fills in the gaps where the online help didn't go that far to cover something. Okay, so let's take a look at the knowledge base project template. And here we are in Flare, and you can see over on the left, we just have a few topics in here, and these happen to be at the root, and a few resource files, images, style sheets, template pages. And so this is pretty simple, the content in here. And of course, if you're going to create a knowledge base, you're going to have lots of articles in here. And we've got a home page. So it's like, that's the very first page that you want to see. We've got topics in here for release notes, system requirements, if you have that need. And then if you look at the output, it looks like this initially is the look and feel. And again, we've got this side navigation over here, and you have search up here. And if you go down in the home page, you can see, all right, we've got a couple of tiles in here. You can put whatever information you want, some drop downs, related articles, system requirements, FAQs, and a nice footer at the bottom with company information on the homepage. Now you click one of the articles or one of the topics and you get in. Now we're into an article, and so it's got all these sections set up that are common in a knowledge base, article number and version, product name, version number, all this information, the solution, and so on. And of course, built-in search. So that is the knowledge base. In case you have the need for that, this is a good project template to start out with. Now, we are going to move on down and talk about side navigation. You've already seen a couple of examples of side navigation. We're going to see what the side navigation project template has. And now we move down in the list to the side navigation project template. And so this one is similar to a couple of the others that you already saw that have side navigation. It's just got different starter files in it and a different look for the home page. Let's check that out. So here are the initial folders and topics for the side navigation project template. And these are all really very simple, and gives you an idea of something that you could do. Maybe if you're creating an online help system and you got some introduction topics, what's new and getting started, and feature topics and procedure topics and so forth. And you got your home page in here. But if you open up these individual topics, you're going to see there's not much content in here. It's a header and some lorem ipsum in case you speak Latin, in case you speak lorem ipsum. You'll understand that, but you're just going to replace the content with your own anyway. So it's pretty simple in here. And then if we look at the output, this is what the side navigation template looks like. And it's very similar to that KB, that knowledge base template that we saw, but just different topics in here and nested. So this is first level and second level, and our homepage is a bit different, some bigger tiles, different sections in here, got some quick links down here. So for different things, and these are images. You could actually hyperlink the images if you wanted, and footer. And the cool thing about, so side navigation, and next I'm going to talk about top navigation, and then finally, and then after that, Tripane. These are all HTML5 targets, which HTML5 is just an output type. I have another video where I talk about output types, and HTML5 is the one that we recommend for online output. And one of the reasons is it gives you a much more modern website looking feel, to the output. It's also very good with search. Let me just type a term in there, and you get this. You get context to your search results, which you don't get in some other output formats. Now, these are all lorem ipsum, so of course they all look the same. But in the real world, these would start out with the first content, in your in that topic, the first paragraph, or it would be if some metadata that you put in there. And so it's just a nice feature. Now, the other thing about the HTML5 output is it's super smart. It's already set up to look different on different screens. So right now, if I get this out wide, you're looking at it, or at the widest point, there we go. You're looking at it on a big screen, so you got the navigation there. But if you are looking at it on a smaller screen, like a tablet, well, now the navigation is here in this flyout, right? And you just can go smaller and smaller to a mobile phone. Same thing, you got your flyout, but notice that these tiles stacked on top of each other. So it's just a lot more friendly with other devices, because everybody's always using, all kinds of devices. You don't know what people are using to look at your output. So that's one reason why we recommend HTML5. Okay, so that is side navigation. Now let's hop in and go to, or let's just move on to the next project template, which is top navigation. Okay, now top navigation. So let's check that out in Flare. Look at the project and then the output. Now in the project, you look at the content Explorer, and it doesn't look a whole lot different from the side navigation. So a lot of this is very similar, but you definitely see a difference once you go into the output. So this is the output for top navigation. And of course, the first thing you notice is you don't have the navigation on the side. It's across the top. And whether you're doing side navigation or top navigation, these are the navigation is based on your TOC. And so these things at the top are at the first level of the TOC. And then if they've got something under them when you hover, there is, that's the second level of these. And the home page is similar, but it has got some different elements in here than the others. But yeah, they all kind of look the same. Now, once you go into a topic in here, this is really cool because you probably don't want, if you've got several levels in your TOC, you're not going to be able to get to, or you don't want necessarily to get to all of them from the top. Maybe you do. Maybe you can do some special customization to, get something beyond this that's really usable. But one of the nice things about this project template is you get this menu, this topic menu that's just built in. And so it's context sensitive, and it shows you where you are and what's around it. This is a getting started topic, and it's got, these are this child topics, and these are siblings over here. And you click that, and so the menu just changes there. So that is really super cool too. Now, the side navigation and the top navigation project templates, these are, the way this happens with the side and the top is based on skins. So let me go back into the Flare project, and you go into the project organizer under skins. And this one actually has several skins in it. This one is the top navigation is the main skin. And then these are tiny little skin components that do other things. But you open this up, top navigation, and the skin is very similar to what you see for side navigation. And you have the setup tab, and this actually controls where things are. So this one is set to top. And the slide out position, that was when I showed you when you went to tablet and it was smaller, or the mobile, and you got that fly out menu. This lets you position that. And so you can change things real easily like that. In fact, let me go back to the side navigation one and just show you how quickly, if you decide, well, I like this one, but I want my navigation to be on the right. Okay, no problem. And maybe you want your slide out to be on the left. Okay, so let's go in and let's build that output, and we'll see how that just changed it. So here it is. That's that same side navigation template I showed you in the last section. This is on the right side. And if I were to reduce the screen, now I'd probably want to position my logos differently, because now I've got this over here, the flyout over on the left, but it's easy to do that. All right, so that gives you an idea of how easily these things can change. So even if you're in the top navigation template, you can move to a side navigation if you change your mind. You can do it that easily. All right. Now we're going to move into the last project template in the online section, which is Tripane. Tripane. So that's the next one we're going to look at. And so this is another HTML5 output, but it's different from the others that we looked at in that it's made up, it's got frames in it. And so let's actually go into Flare and then the output and take a closer look at this. All right, so in Flare, initially, you're just not going to notice much difference in this. These topics all just kind of have the same kind of thing. Now you go into the project organizer, you look under skins, it's a Tripane skin. And this becomes clear when you look in the output. Okay, we got the same color scheme going on here. But this definitely looks different. Tripane is more of an old school structure, and it's made up of distinct frames. And you got one that's across the top, which is your header, and it's got your logo in there and your search. And then you got another frame over on the left, which is your navigation. And right now it's got the TOC, the contents, but we could add other tabs in here. We could have an index, a glossary, a couple of other things. And then you got a third frame, which is your actual topic content. All right, so it's frames. The other outputs that I show you are frameless. So they kind of look like they do because they have different, it looks like they have different sections, but they don't technically have frames in them. And so that makes a difference with something like search, because when you have frames, it takes longer for a web crawler to go over these. So it's frameless, it's faster, and you usually have a better search experience. So that is one reason why most people will want to use frameless, but some people like this look. They like the old school. They like the distinction of these frames like this. So it's just another option that you can use if when you're choosing templates. And so next, let's go into, so that takes care of the online project templates. Let's go into the online and print. So up until now, all of the project templates we've looked at were just set up initially for online output. And now we're moving into this other folder, and we've got a few project templates in there. eLearning in PDF, side navigation in PDF, top navigation in PDF, Tripane and PDF. And all of those, they have their counterparts in the online folder, and they're all identical except for one thing. They're set up initially to produce a PDF right away. That's it. That's the only difference between them. So if you know for sure you're never going to do PDFs, maybe you choose one of the online ones. If you know for sure you're going to do PDF outputs too, you select one of these. I'm just going to show you one of them because the rest of the information would be the same for all of them. So let's go take a look at the side navigation and PDF project template. Okay, when you open up this template, the folders and files in the Content Explorer are going to look much the same, except you got this front matter topics folder in here, which has a title topic, and that is designed for the title page of the PDF output. So there's that, and you see the red on there. That's a condition, which means that in the output, we don't want to include this topic in online output. It's just for print. And you go into the project, or let's go back to the Content Explorer, and you go into the resources folder. Now you have your images, style sheets, template pages, but now you also have this page layouts folder. And this is going to control the structure, the page size, orientation, and margins, and headers, footers, page numbers for your PDF output. And if you go into the project organizer, you go into targets, and now in addition to this HTML5 target, we've got a PDF target. And that's the only difference. If I were to generate the HTML5 target, it's the same thing I showed you before. If I generated the PDF one, it is going to look like this. It's just a user guide, just something, and you don't have to you don't have to create a user guide. You can create all kinds of other things. This is just one thing that you could create. You could use it for other purposes. And you see the title page in here. It's got the same look and feel as the online output, and a little design there. And you come down and you got the TOC and just these pages in here. You can see the footers with the names of the chapters and the page numbers. That's pretty much it. And you get to the end and you get a glossary and an index in there. That's the difference. That is what you're going to get with these online and online print project templates, the online plus a PDF right out of the box. So now let's move down to the next section, which is the print project templates. So all of the project templates that you see down in the print folder, those are set up initially to just create some kind of print output. But as is the case with any of the project templates, you can add online to that. You can add more PDFs. You can do anything. All right. So the first one we want to look at is the brochure project template. And that's pretty self-explanatory. You know what a brochure is. And this is going to let you create one pretty easily. In Flare, you look at the Content Explorer, and it's very, very simple. you have two topics in here, one for inside, one outside. Those are the names. So one of them is used for the content of the inside of the brochure, the other one for the outside of the brochure. And you've got some images and style sheets, and the page layouts are very important because they match up with the two topics. So you have a structure and look and feel for the inside and another for the outside of the brochure. And if we go to the output, let's see, there it is. So this is what it looks like in the output. You got this PDF and you can see the three distinct panes. And this is the one over on the right is the first pane that people would see once this thing is folded up. And so you just go in and supply your own information. You can, again, change things around, remove things, change things, add things, whatever you want. And you go to the second page, and this is the back. This is the inside. The other one was the outside of the brochure. And so when you fold it, it all just kind of comes together. Okay. Now, one other thing I do want to mention with the brochure project template, and it's true in general of print project templates, but in particular, the brochure and the product foldout one, when you open up these topics in here. Now, Flare is first and foremost, most people are thinking of it as an online first output. And so the editor is kind of set up that way so that you're looking through it and, okay, this makes sense. You can kind of envision how this is going to look online. But this project template is really intended for print, and it really depends on these page layouts that are behind the topics. And so I would recommend when you're working in these project templates for brochures, and especially brochures and product fold out that we're going to get to, you switch this to print layout. And now you're going to see the panes in here because the page layout comes into play here. And so this is more representative of what you're actually going to see. All right. So that was the inside, and there is the outside, and you can see the panes in there. All right. So just a quick tip, just to make it easier for you to get around in the editor and know that things are going to be in a certain place that you expect, switch to the print layout mode. I'm going to go back to the web layout mode. All right, so that is the brochure project template. Let's go on to the next one, which is policies and procedures. All right, policies and procedures, next project template. And this one is pretty similar to the output that you saw for the online and the site navigation and the PDF, but it is intended specifically for policies and procedures document. So some of the stuff in there is different. In the project, the Content Explorer, you can immediately see, oh yeah, these are different. The actual content in these is, most of it is just lorem ipsum, but we do put in these general categories and topics that somebody might use in policies and procedures, harassment, attendance, smoking, just to give you a start, and then you can add more, change whatever you want. All right, so now if we look at the output for this is the policies and procedures output, and the title page, of course, is set up for that, but it's the same look as the user guide that we had. And you come down and yeah, you can see these different sections in here. Just if you have that need to create a policies and procedures guide, you can start out with this one. Very, very simple. Okay, next one down on the list is the product foldout project template. Now, the product foldout project template, and you're going to see that this one is quite similar to the brochure project template, but it is different in its the size of it and the makeup of it a little bit. So let's go in and take a look. Yeah, in Flare, so before you saw outside and inside, now you've got front and back, but it's the same kind of thing as the brochure. The page layouts match up with these. Again, if you open one of these up in here, you want to switch to print layout, and now you can see the page layout behind it, and just makes more sense. All right. And then you go into the output, and it looks like that. So this is the front, and this is the designed to be the first panel, and you fold this, and then you get to the others, and you go to the second page, and you got these, and you got step 1, step 2, step 3. The idea being, maybe this is something that is included with a product that is sent, and somebody opens up the package, and you get this folded up product fold out quick steps to help somebody set something up. That is the purpose of this. So similar to the brochure, but you can see obviously it's different size, and it's just got a different purpose to it. Now, last one in the print section is a user guide. We're going to look at that next. Okay, so the user guide project template, you've actually seen really the output for this, or at least something very similar when I showed you the online and PDF, and you got that user guide that came with those. That's really what this is, except it's just a standalone project template in case all you need is user guides. So let's look at that. In Flare, yeah, it's set up because the intention is this is print. So we're dividing it by chapters. Just got it organized by chapters in here. And, a chapter can have multiple topics in it. Obviously, they're going to be sorted in the TOC, which this is actually, so it says TOC, but this actually functions as an outline. So in this case, our title topic, which is in the front matter, is coming first, and that's followed by introduction and getting started. And then we got step 1, which is right here in chapter 3, and lorem right there. That's included in that chapter. So that is how this one is set up. Now, one other thing I do want to mention, because I talked about how you could view these in the editor according to the print layout. And so you can do that also with other print outputs, with other topics that are designed for print output, like this one is designed for the user guide. And you can see that, all right, so this is the page and the frame that it's in, and the footer, and there's going to be the page number over here. The thing about this is, don't think that just because you look at it like this, or you preview it, because you can preview topics also like this, which can be extremely useful to see how they're going to look without having to build the output. The thing is, if I look at this one right here, it says, or let me actually open another one that's deeper down, like step 2. I open this one up, and I go in and I preview it, or I look at it in print layout, and it's going to say page 1 in here. You're on page 1. Well, it's not necessarily page 1, because these topics can be, this topic could be in 50 different PDFs, and it might be on different pages in the different PDFs. And so it's impossible to give you an exact, what you see is what you get with the print layout. In some of these, it's easier with the brochure and the product foldout because it's just 2 pages. But when you got lots of pages in here, and maybe your chapters are set up differently, so the first page of the chapter, things are structured differently. Maybe the heading starts down lower. It's just not going to look exactly like that. You need to build the output to see exactly what page something is on. So the print layout mode can help, and the preview can help, but they're limited. You kind of need to build the output for some of these print outputs to really get a true picture of what you're getting. All right, that is going to take us through the built-in factory project templates in Flare. Oh, actually, there are a couple of others. Sorry, the tutorial templates. Let's talk about those next. Now, underneath the online and print folders in that on that page of the wizard, you're going to see tutorials folder, and there are 2 project templates in there, one called Austin, one called San Diego. And the whole reason that these exist are to help with the tutorials that are in the Flare online help. Let me show you that. So in the Flare online help, you come over on the left side and you select tutorials. And there's all these tutorials in here that you can go through to learn different parts of Flare, different features. And those project templates, when you go through the instructions in here, it's going to tell you to create projects based on one of those two project templates. The Getting Started one is going to use San Diego. Auto Numbers is going to use Austin project template. So those are the reasons that those exist. However, that doesn't mean you can't use them. You could select one of those if you check it out in the wizard and you go, well, I kind of like the way that this looks, and you can actually use that as a starter for your actual Flare project. Doesn't matter, but that's the reason why those exist. And so really the best way to learn more about those is to go through the tutorials, and you'll see how they're put together and how they look in the output. Now, we've gone through all of the built-in project templates, but we want to look at some other project templates that are provided by MadCap software. That's what we're going to do next. So let's say that you've looked through all of the built-in Flare project templates and you're looking at them, you go, yeah, I like them, but I kind of want to do something else. What else you got? Well, we do have something else. So let's take a look. Let's go back into the wizard and see what else you can do. So in the wizard, you got this link, says download additional project templates. And if you click this, it's going to open up this page in the MadCap software website, where we have lots and lots of project templates in here. And these will take you to certain categories in here. And you just scroll down and you can see what they look like. And there's all kinds of really, really cool ones in here, real fancy templates. And you're looking and you go, yeah, I really like that one. Well, you can preview it and you can download the template. You can download any or all of these and then create small projects in Flare with these and play around with them. And maybe that'll help you settle on which one you want to use. Now, there are a couple that in addition to all those online ones that you were just seeing, there are a couple that I want to point your attention to that are further down there, these professional pre-written manuals. And these are designed for PDF output. And what we discovered was a lot of people needed to create employee handbooks or medical office policy and procedures manuals. And but they weren't exactly sure where to start with the content. They needed a little bit of help. So if you download one of these, not only do they have it's put together and it's got the look and feel, which you can change, but it's actually got actual real life content in there throughout them. So these are long project templates. And so maybe some of the stuff in there, you think, yeah, I'm going to use that. I'm just going to change our company name, the variables, whatever. Maybe some stuff that doesn't apply to you and you take it out. That's great. So it's just going to help you get off the ground a lot faster than you could trying to develop this stuff on your own from scratch. Okay. Now, if you download one of these templates, any of these templates that you see in here, it's going to download a zip file. You open up the zip file, and now you're going to be able to load that into Flare, and you've got it. So that is just another option that you have. One other thing I want to talk about with the project templates, especially the built-in ones, and before we wrap up this video. Okay, one other thing that I wanted to make you aware of, and that is you have certain template instructions. There's certain help that's available when you install use one of the built-in Flare project templates, and I think some of the other additional project templates when you download those from the website. And let's take a look. So when you use one of the built-in Flare project templates, almost all of them, I think, except for the empty project template, come with this PDF here in the Content Explorer called Template Instructions. And you open this up, and these are all different depending on the project template that you selected. And you go down here, and some are going to have more information than others, depends on if you have online print, and it's going to tell you how to change images in here and colors and your logo, all of that. And so it just helps you take the project template, instead of you having to go and figure out how do I get my company colors in there instead of that blue that I saw. Well, you follow those instructions and that'll help you. And then when you're all done, you know that you don't need this anymore. You just go and delete it. So it's out of your project. You don't need it anymore and you're good to go. That's just what I wanted to point out to you. All right, so those are all of the project templates that we've got available for you. And what I want you to understand is that you can use any of these and you can swap out whatever you want. Just because a certain project template has certain things in place doesn't mean you have to keep them, or you have to keep them the way they are, and you can add whatever you want. These are just to help you get going quickly. That's all there is to it. And what I would do, actually, I would just create a whole bunch of little tiny practice projects and mess around with these, and especially the ones from the MadCap software website, so that you can see how they look. Because you already saw, I showed you how the outputs look from the built-in ones, but now if you go and you download some of those from the MadCap software website, you can do the same thing. Build the output, play around with them, and you'll find something that you really, really like. That's going to do it. Thank you for watching this movie. We'll talk to you next time.